All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine a monkey who absolutely loves bananas. Life is pretty sweet. But of course, there's a problem. This monkey wants even more bananas, but has totally run out of leaves, which, is basically money in our little story. So, what's a monkey supposed to do? And that's the big question, isn't it? How do you get what you want right now when you just don't have the leaves to pay for it? Well, turns out there's a pretty clever tool for this exact problem.
Meet the leaf card. You can think of it as this little piece of magic that lets our monkey buy all the bananas he wants today, with a simple promise to pay the monkey bank back later. Basically, it's a tool for borrowing.
So how does this whole thing actually work? Well, it's kind of like a simple three-step dance. First, our monkey happily swipes that leaf card and gets a bunch of delicious bananas. Then, the monkey bank swoops in and pays the banana seller for him. And third, and this is the most important part, the monkey now owes all those leaves back to the bank. See? Simple, right? Now hold on. The monkey bank isn't just going to hand out these leaf cards to any old monkey. Nope. They need to know if you're a monkey who can be trusted. And to figure that out, they look at something called your credit score. It's really just a number, a grade, that tells them how good you are at paying back what you owe and, crucially, paying it back on time. So to put a number on it, a score of 740 is what you'd call a good monkey score. It's pretty solid. The higher your score, the better you look to the bank. Anything over 800 is considered excellent, while a score down below 580, that's not so great. A better score just means banks are way more willing to trust you with their leaves.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why even bother with all this? Why not just use my own leaves? And that's a totally fair question. Because honestly, when you use a leaf card the right way, it can be an absolutely amazing tool. So let's get into the good stuff, the perks.
There are some seriously fantastic reasons to use one. For starters, using a leaf card responsibly helps build up that super important credit score, which you're going to need for the big stuff later, like a car or a house. It's also a great safety net for when, life happens. And here's something you might not have thought about: security. If a thief steals your card, it's the bank's leaves they're stealing, not yours. Plus, you get protection from scams. But honestly, for a lot of people, the biggest draw? It's the rewards.
And this is where it gets really fun. See, the banks want you to use their cards, so they dangle all these amazing carrots. We're talking huge sign-up bonuses, banana points you can use for flights and hotels, or even just getting extra leaves back on stuff you were going to buy anyway. You might wonder how they can afford all that. It's simple. Every time you swipe, the banana seller pays the bank a tiny fee, and all those tiny fees, they add up and pay for all the awesome perks. So you get to buy what you want, you're protected from fraud, and you earn rewards. I mean, it sounds like a total win-win, right? But, and this is a big but, that's only if our monkey plays by the rules. Because if you don't, oh boy, things can go south and fast. And that brings us to the dark side of the leaf card. Because if you're not careful, this super helpful tool can turn into a really dangerous trap. This is where we have to talk about debt. So what happens if our monkey doesn't pay the bank back all the leaves he owes at the end of the month? Well, the bank charges an extra fee. It's called interest. Just think of it like a penalty for not paying them back on time. And remember, it only kicks in if you don't pay your bill in full. But it's not just a simple one-time fee. No. This is where things get really, really dangerous. And it's because of something called compound interest. This is the sneaky little mechanism that can make a tiny debt spiral into a huge, out-of-control monster. Let's just break this down. Let's say our monkey borrows 100 leaves and just forgets to pay it back. The interest rate is 2% a month. So after 1 month, the bank adds 2 leaves of interest to the debt. The new total is now 102 leaves. Okay, now let's go to month 2. Here's the scary part. The bank now calculates that 2% interest on the new total of 102 leaves, not the original 100. So that's another 2.04 leaves tacked on. Now the debt is up to 104.04 leaves. You're starting to see where this is going, right?
By the time you hit month 3, that interest is calculated on the $104.04, adding even more to the pile. The debt is growing faster and faster and faster because you're now paying interest on your interest. This is a perfect picture of why Leaf Card debt can be so incredibly hard to climb out of. It just snowballs.
And it's not just the compound interest. Oh no, banks can hit you with a whole blizzard of other fees. I'm talking setup fees, late fees, annual fees just for having the card, ATM fees, fees for spending too much. They can even hit you with a fee for not spending enough. It can feel like it never ends.
So it's pretty clear the Leaf Card can be a fantastic friend or a pretty fearsome enemy. The difference, the thing that decides which one it'll be, is knowing the rules. So let's talk about how to be a smart monkey and use this tool without getting used by it.
Okay, here they are, the 5 golden rules. Number 1, always know your APR. That's the annual percentage rate. It tells you the true cost of borrowing. 2, pick cards with rewards that actually make sense for your life. 3, and this one right here is the absolute most important rule of all. Only spend what you know for a fact you can pay off in full every single month. 4, try to keep your balance below 30% of your total limit. And 5, always, always, always pay your bill on time. No exceptions.
Let's just focus on that 30% rule for a second. It's called your credit utilization. See, banks get really nervous when they see a monkey using up too much of their available credit. It looks risky. Staying in that green, safe zone under 30% is one of the best ways to keep your credit score healthy and strong.
You know, when you really get down to it, it all boils down to this. A credit card is an incredibly powerful financial tool. It gives you convenience, security, and some really cool rewards. But that power, it demands respect. It demands discipline. It is not free money. It just reminds us that with great power, well, you know the rest. So at the end of the day, the choice is totally yours. Now that you understand both the amazing perks and the dangerous pitfalls, you've got the knowledge you need to decide. Will your Leaf Card be a helpful tool that helps you build your future, or will it be a dangerous trap that holds you back? The answer, really,